Yeah, it could be something that comes out in the
Okay. Hold on, you.
Oh, yeah. How's that sound? Good. Yeah.
That's going to get that bit of the big button and everything.
Should be
Pretty
close.
close.
Yeah, no, I'm just sort of going to yeah. Got a couple of hours. Probably a little break halfway or something.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I never like, but it works. I should have figured it out. Yeah, I think I love you. Yeah, could you set it up a little bit? Yeah, of course.
Still does that.
We're going to go to group code 44.
I don't have too many details on that, but I think so.
There's a place called Chambers Gorge.
Yeah, I met some guys from the Sacred Resonance Project who've been working with Beth Hagen. Yeah. They know the whole area, but they couldn't get me the info for today. So, but yeah, he's also got the one right up in the Gulf of Carpentaria.
All right.
As well.
Yeah, that, one out is amazing.
Yeah.
Lots of incredible.
You've been out there?
Yeah. Lots of incredible kind of engravings that predate the local originally say. Chambers Gorge.
I wasn't doing it, I might ask you to mention that.
Yeah. Oh, it's like northern Australia. It's a 61.
Okay.
Hands allowed, eh? Good morning, everyone. So, very happy to have Hugh come and present here in the tea house. And looks like an incredible talk. And we're going to just let it unfold quite organically. Who's going to talk, but I think you want to field questions as you go or towards the end.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, and there may be, we'll see how we go, there may be a break in between and some heated discussion at the end.
Oh, thanks a lot. Cheers.
Hugh Newman.
Okay, so can you all hear me all right? Just, I need to shout. You good? Yeah? Just sort of shout if you can't hear me and I'll raise my voice. So this talk today is Earthgrids and the Serpent, also how the prolific sites link up across the planet. So we're going to have a lot of graphics. It's a really graphic heavy kind of lecture. I'm just going to blast through it. You're going to want to interrupt me and sort of give me some insights, especially on the Australian landscape. But I really got into this, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I really got into this through the study of crop circles in England. Some, from England, obviously. I kind of was investigating the whole crop circle phenomenon like 15, 20 years ago, and it's one of the weirdest phenomenon ever, really, and it's happening right now on the planet. And it's generally ignored. There was a big thing in Australia back in I think the 60s with the saucer nests, they called them, the various and that kind of grabbed my attention as well. But it was through the crop circles I really got intrigued and inspired by the whole sacred landscape and the earth energies that were through these crop circles. Also the megalithic sites in the landscape, which would always be right next to where they appeared. And so this kind of opened me up to this whole idea of something very, like an invisible, mystical side to ancient history. That kind of drew me in, and it's really, I've got to admit, it's through the crop circles. Because not only do they contain geometry and mathematics and incredible number systems, they also, where they're placed within the landscape between ancient sites, and they have earth energies going through them. Some of them are even aligned astronomically. They're almost exactly the same as the stone circle phenomenon in England, and all around the world, as we'll see in this talk. And so that kind of really opened up this whole idea that there's something very strange going on in prehistory, which has really been overlooked by academia, and even TV, you can look at the History Channel, love them. It's very standard academic kind of knowledge-based stuff. But I've been on this, you've seen it, pretty far out. I don't necessarily believe aliens built all the ancient sites. I'm not really 100% into that, but when you, as you'll see today, when you start looking around the world and you start looking at how old some of these sites are and how sophisticated, weird some of these megalithic sites are, you kind of might think it could well be aliens, in fact. But I want to just jump back to this brilliant research with John Michel. Have any of you here heard of John? A few of you, yeah? He was like my biggest inspiration, really. We founded a conference really based on his work called Megalithomania. And the book, The View Over Atlantis, really opened the door for a lot of people into this idea, this mystical side of ancient history, to do with, you know, the way that sites line up over vast distances. And this message here is from The View Over Atlantis. I'll let you just read it. I'm going to sort of be mentioning a lot of this, but he was, you know, really the big inspiration for a generation of Earth mysteries and megalithic researchers. And even he was a real expert on the crop circle. He was one of the first people to note similarities between crop circles and megalithic sites. And he saw a view of the world was like this. There's megalithic sites all over the planet. There's earthworks, there's cyclopean alignments, and much more going everywhere you look. So that kind of really grabbed my attention. This was written back in 1969. This is way ahead of its time. Unfortunately, it passed for years. So he wasn't for him. You know, I'll give you a bit of an outline. You probably see early traditions. There's a lot of creation myths that kind of hint at this idea of a grid system, like an energy grid around the planet. This is my book from my brother, Emmanuel, and this is a picture of this Hopi creation myth, really, Taiwan. And he spat into 2 handfuls of earth. Sound, vibration, one that was, and as the one that was focused on the sound was beating this magical drum, the energy would go to the crystal at the center of the earth and flip the other brother through structure and form. As the energy hit this crystal, it would bounce back to the surface of the earth. And where the crystal at the center of the earth, this comes up here. It's a very scientific research by some Russians in the 1970s. It's just one example of that. We also have a Druid tradition of great circles around the planet. Well, and many we'll get into during this talk. But I just want to jump off planet briefly, some aliens and all that. But I want to look at the, you know, there are some unusual geometries, there are unusual anomalies at specific latitude. And it shows you a tetrahedron, or 2 tetrahedrons, a star tetrahedron inside a sphere. Some of you may recognize that as the Merkaba. Points will touch the surface is always at 19.47 or 19.5 degrees. And this is where the Olympus Mons volcano sits, exactly on Mars. Where throughout the solar system that sit at that altitude. We have to sunspot 19.47 degrees if there wasn't some kind of internal energetic geometry organising that. I really believe there is, and this is just a few slight bits of evidence. There are also some South Pacific islands that sit at that level. I think Samoa and some others which have major megalithic sites down there. And even if we look at Miranda, we sort of see that there's kind of hexagonal, pentagonal trees kind of laid out over the surface. How could they get there? Is that just now? So there are triangular features as well. And even on there's a great hexagon, which is twice the width of the Earth. It's pretty big, and that kind of just sits there. You know, the energy geometry stays put, as though there's some kind of frequency being put out by the. Is originally taken by NASA. And it's got this very weird kind of all the way around, like the equator, like the centre of it. Exactly in the middle, as though it's been sliced in half and stuck back together with glue, and the glue's puffed out from the seam. But this is 12 miles, about 12 miles wide. No one knows how it's dead moon. There's no kind of equator as such. But again, it just shows you there's some weird things going on in our solar system which have yet to be explained. If we jump back to Earth, same kind of principles apply here. If you look at the mid-Atlantic ridge of the edge of the dodecahedron, which is a 12-sided polygon, an interesting plateau back around 500 to 400 years. When viewed from above, on the right there is a megalithic, small megalithic sphere they find all over Scotland, about 4,000 years old, maybe 5,000. And they are all clear, there's many examples of all the different 5 platonic solids and combinations of platonic solids, Archimedean solids and others, which go back thousands of years before Plato, so not really call them the platonic solids anymore. This is some work done by Ivan Sanderson. He was a paranormal investigator. He was also and he was very interested in the triangle, the work of Charles Berlitz and others. And you can see that in the centre of the triangle, where there's been many disappearances, anomalies, time dilation. La-di-da-di-da, especially other areas, whole kind of triangular areas around the planet. More so than just the planet or what this is. The South Pole. There's a fact that each, draw that onto a spherical Earth. Of a Nikos, which is a platonic solid. So this is kind of disputed, has been, kind of expressed. Research is there. I've checked, I've backed it up, and it makes sense. Hawaii fits into it as a sort of But they put into this idea, and this was published in the Russian Academy of Sciences journal. This is a major publication, scientific peer-reviewed publication. And they believed that there was a crystal at the centre of the Earth. Remember the Hopi creation myth? And over millions of years, the Earth formed around it, debris from space, created what we know as the Earth. And that they still detect the edges of this crystal on the surface of the Earth, the energetic stuff on the Earth. On the Earth's surface, thousands of crystals supposed to be thousands of miles below, and isn't a molten core as many people imagine. And they came up with this whole system based on the dodecahedron. They also decided to add the icosahedron because they nest perfectly together. They're like the opposing geometric solids, two platonic solids. They kind of are like jewels of each other. And they realised that when you place it precisely on the north and south pole, you get the migratory paths of animals which go along particular lines. There'll be fault lines of the Earth, the mid-Atlantic ridge. But also, they found that many ancient civilizations kind of move around the lines of this grid. This is the kind of final design they came up with. You can start to see it's forming into some more regular kind of organized grid system. It just shows you what you can work with Google Earth. It's a good program you can get from decades now. And you can overlay each of these different solids on the zoom into different areas. You can actually find exactly what's going on with particular lines. Then there was the work, you know, New Cathy, yeah? He was New Zealand